Just a quick one before we dive in. I've just opened up 2 brand new ways to work with me. If you're an established beauty professional who's ready to increase your revenue, either in your clinic or by moving into the online mentoring and educational space, you can join me for a 2-month container where we build and validate your first online offer or your next big move. Or if you're ready to go all in, there is a 7-month private mentorship where we build, launch and scale your new revenue stream together. If you're not sure which one's right for you, I'm offering a handful of free business clarity calls, quick and powerful to map out your fastest path and to see which container fits best. Just DM me the word revenue on Instagram or check the link in the show notes and email me. Let's get into the episode.
Welcome to the Beauty Build podcast with me, Zara King. As a coach for beauty pros, it is my mission to help you earn more, work less, and create an unstoppable mindset. This is the show where we explore all of that. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting your beauty business, this podcast is for you. So sit back, relax, and join us on the journey. And for more, get yourself inside my private community, The Beauty Build on Facebook. Hello, you gorgeous beauty pro. Welcome to another episode. I am super excited to get into this for you today because if you still have the fear of being told that you're too expensive in your beauty business, this episode is 100% for you, and I want you to treat it like I'm talking directly to you. So recently I came across an umbrella by Dior that was priced at £1,150. Okay, if you want to know a bit more about that, check out my post that I did on it in the Beauty Build group on Facebook. And what I did with that post was I let a lot of people know that are in the group about the facts around value perception. Okay, but I also realised that a lot of you may need some help in understanding how you can truly believe in value perception, because there are a lot of people online telling you at the moment to charge your worth, know your value and all of this kind of thing, and that the value perception is what comes first. Totally get it, totally agree with it, but also you need to know how you can actually start believing in it, because it's all good and well me coming on here and telling you, look, everybody needs to think about the value that you provide. You need to communicate the value that you provide to your clients and all of this kind of thing. But if you want to be able to charge higher prices, then listen into this episode as best you can. Make notes if you want, because I'm going to get into some of the nitty-gritty about when I was running my beauty business. I knew that I was an amazing beauty therapist. Took me about a year or so, and I knew that I had skills that made heads turn and jaws drop, literally. I know I'm blowing my own trumpet, but that is exactly what I knew. I knew I was good at what I did, and I had a passion for everything. So it's very easy for me to say that now, 12 years later, obviously, but I'm going to be real with you and let you know that deep down at that time, even though I knew it, I still worried that upping my prices was going to scare away potential clients. Okay, so I'm here to tell you how I actually felt that fear, and I just took it with me for the ride. Okay, but the first things first, I wanted to address the elephant in the room. Okay, being expensive does not mean that you are overcharging or ripping people off. Okay, and that is huge. That's a huge thing for you to remember, because if you are thinking that, then you really need to check in with your money mindset. Okay, so it's a good job you're here, really, isn't it? So being expensive actually means that you value your expertise, you value your time, and you value the incredible results that you deliver for your clients. Okay, and in my beauty business, when I realised this, I changed. I grew as a person and I made my business a success. Okay, the fears never disappeared, but what I did was I took it with me. Popped it into my pocket and I said to the fear, come on, let's go, let's do this, you're coming with me. Okay, so the fear was there, and you're probably thinking, well, how did you realise the value then? Like, how did you believe in the value? And do you know what the problem is sometimes, right? And I learnt this a lot. I learnt this so strongly as I was growing as a person, okay? What it takes is, it takes our own experience to realise the value. The value in time, the value of skill, the value of these results that we're talking about, okay? The value perception is very individual. We value certain things more than others over others, if that makes sense. But obviously you're a beauty business owner, so it is crucial that you yourself value this industry and you value the services that you offer. Okay, so if you're here telling me anything but that, then obviously you need to rethink your career. Okay, if you can say, yes, Zara, I value the beauty industry, I see the value in the services that I provide, then great, you are in the right place. But if you don't actually experience it for yourself, then you're not going to believe in selling your products or services at higher prices. Okay, what I mean by this is sometimes we actually have never paid such high prices for these services, right? We haven't valued those services enough to pay highly for them for ourselves. Okay, and this is why sometimes the fears can take over. So if this is you, keep listening. Because let's be honest, right? When it comes to that Dior umbrella that I was talking about, I'm not paying £1,150 for an umbrella. Okay, I'm not. But somebody else is. And they clearly value umbrellas more than I do. And that is absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, I have happily spent thousands of pounds on laser hair removal. I'll spend thousands and thousands on muscle tightening treatments for my face. And I'm not going to give it a second thought. Okay, it's one of the things I want to do before I hit 40. Okay, I've spent over £10,000 on building my coaching expertise. You might be thinking that's a lot of money. You might think, oh my goodness, why would you spend thousands of pounds on laser or muscle tightening treatments? Things like that, because that is normal for me. Okay, I value that stuff. That's the kind of stuff that gets me going. So what I don't value is umbrellas. Okay, so I don't value that as highly, but I do value my beauty treatments. And I obviously do value my coaching expertise and my business. So let's just imagine as well, for a minute, the designer of this umbrella at Dior. Do you think for a second that they are purchasing a £1 umbrella from Primark or somewhere, but they're also expecting someone else to pay £1,150 for their umbrella? No, they're probably not, right? So this is how I realised about value perception. So if we start small, if you will look at the beginning of my beauty business, right? It was 2011. I wasn't paying any more than a few quid for a brow thread. We'll start really small. But I went on to charge £8 and then £13 and then £20. And you might just say, oh my goodness, just for a brow thread, it takes you like 15 minutes, right? Yes, because I actually began to look at the value and the experience, and I had that for myself. I experienced it myself and I felt it. Okay, so when I say to you in my content, or when I say to you on the podcast, make it tangible when you speak to your ideal clients. Okay, make them feel it. You have to make it tangible for yourself as well to believe it. So if we go back to 2011, I was paying about £2, literally £2 for a quick brow thread. I was never loving the shape. They always went too thin. Sometimes they cut my skin. I was in and out of their places literally quicker than you can say Bob's your uncle. And there was no aftercare, no service, no atmosphere, no nothing, no follow-up. Okay, it wasn't until I started to pay more for my own brows that I got comfortable charging other people higher prices for my brow work. Okay, because what I did was I understood the value and what it felt like. So it became more tangible for me. And it's the same thing as like when I was paying non-standard salons, I think it was about £19 for an infill. Did I love the service? Did I love the skill and the results? No, I absolutely did not. Okay, it wasn't until I paid more for my nails that I saw the value and therefore believed in the worth and charged higher for my own nail services because it became tangible for me. So I hope you're seeing where I'm going with this. It is all about the perception and the feelings that you create, okay, when it comes to wanting to charge higher prices. Yes, obviously it took me some time to develop the mindset and to get into, feeling happier to pay higher prices. And at the end of the day, the fear was still there because I was, as I was becoming happier to pay these prices, I still thought to myself, well, who's going to pay me that amount, Because we all have the self-doubt, it still stays there. But what I want you to know is I did it anyway in my beauty business because the belief that I had was stronger than the fear because I had built up that evidence of the value myself and going out there and paying more money for these services myself. Okay, so eventually it turned out that it became normal for me. And that's where you need to get to as well. The feeling of believing that these higher prices for your services are absolutely normal for yourself and for other people. Okay, now I have had so many different beauty pros go through my one-to-one program and they tell me they want to charge £60 plus for gel nails, or they say, Zara, I want to charge £100 plus for my extensions, or it's just an overlay and it's with artwork and all this kind of thing, right? But guess what happens? Those prices don't align to them because they themselves have never spent that kind of money on their own nails. Okay, therefore they don't believe in the value. Not deep down. So when it comes to selling their services at those prices, I'd get a message and it'd say, Zara, I might need to decrease my prices because no one's booking in. Okay, hello, huge belief problems. And this is how they show up in your reality. Okay, so you can tell yourself till you're blue in the face, I value it, I can see the value. But if you really don't experience it yourself and know how it feels, these things are still going to happen to you. Okay, now obviously I always believe in my clients and their prices, but they do not sometimes. And I always say to them, you're not just slapping on some makeup, you're not just painting nails, you're not just giving people a quick brow thread, you are creating magic. Okay, you're boosting people's confidence like a wizard with a wand, if you like. And I do truly believe that, I really do. So, if you think that's hard to believe, you need to go out there and you need to spend some decent money on these treatments for yourself. And at the end of the day, in your beauty business, what do you want to be known for? What feeling do you want to create for your clients? In a nutshell, when I was successful in my beauty business, I became known for my attention to detail. That's as simple as I can put it. That was my magic. And in your case, you're going to become known for your magic. Okay, so as I have already said, confidence with these things is key. But so is the belief, right? You have to believe. So do what you need to build this belief in yourself around the value and make it tangible for yourself before you go and try and sell it to someone else. Because let me tell you, you're not going to be able to sell it very confidently if you yourself don't understand the value and how it feels and the impact that it can have on somebody's life. Okay? Once you do that, I can guarantee you're going to start embracing your inner queen. You're going to start owning your worth. You're going to start charging higher prices. I fully believe you're not just a beauty pro. Okay, you are literally a superhero of self-esteem. So I'm going to let the world know that you're worth every penny. But to make it your own reality, you need to believe it first. Okay, you can take my belief, you can borrow it for a little while. But if you want to show your potential clients that investing in themselves is priceless, you have to practice what you preach. And that is how I realised what it meant when it comes to value perception. I grew into the person that felt the value of these treatments by going out there and feeling it myself in real life. Okay, anything in this world is possible, and who knows, maybe one day I might even grow into the person who does see the value in an £1,150 umbrella. I doubt it, but we shall see. Watch this space. So this is a quick one for you all today, and I really hope it hits home. And, I'm really interested to know as well, how does listening to this make you feel? Because I have said these exact words in the Beauty Build Facebook group. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I'm pretty sure I've seen some of this or heard some of this before, you absolutely have. But when I tell you it through my voice and you're listening in, how does it feel? Because it's so powerful for me. Okay, so let me know how this kind of thing feels for you. And if you do want me to hold your hand through upping your prices and growing your business and getting more clients in and feeling the value of what you provide, then my one-to-one program does have availability for the very first time in what feels like absolutely forever. So just reach out to me on the socials. They're all linked in the description below, as always. So if you want to see if we would be a good fit, to work together or not, then absolutely reach out to me, and I'm always happy to help. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and gained valuable insights that will help you in your beauty business and life. If you did, please take a screenshot and tag me in your stories. If you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me on any of my socials. The links are always in the descriptions. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you more and more great content. Until next time, keep building that business.